Hello everyone, good morning. We can wait for 2 or 3 minutes, then we can start. Please wait for like we will wait 3 minutes and then we can start at 8:05. Okay, we can start. So today we will cover top 50 most important JWT interview question. It is the most important topic in every interview. Like if you give any interview related to .NET developer, so related to this, every interview will ask you two or three question or multiple questions like based on related to a JWT token or authentication, authorization. So this is the most important topic. It's also important topic for the experience, and for the experience, in the experience they will ask you how you can implement these things in your project. But if you're fresher, then also they will ask you have a basic knowledge related to this. So we can cover these all things practically one by one. So our first question is, what is a JWT token or JWT? So this is a compact or secure token used to submit data between client and server. For example, you can take it like that. Uh, like your API is in the backend and your code in the, for example, you are calling these API from the um, this is your in the .NET and your a website or front end in Angular. So how it will be communicate? So like that way it will be work. And for example, here I can add the authentication. For example, you can see authorized role based authorization I can implement. So here, if I can add the token here and authorize this API, then I am able to, if I have a role admin, so then I am able to access this API. So these all the things will be handled by JWT token. So when you are register here, you can see here I can make a two method register login, or this is for the refresh token. Okay. So when user will log in with the help of uh, correct, you can say username and password, then we can generate the token and we can add the code here in our program.cs file. Let me check. So you can see here we can add this authentication. So it will check and issue audience these things, and it will check the role. So if have a role, then you are able to access this API. So this is our first question. What is a JWT token? So anyone have any doubt here, you can message me here. Second one is what does like JWT stand for? It full form will be a JSON Web Token. And third question will be a, what are the three parts of JWT token? So our JWT token, this is also important question. Like how many parts our JWT token? So I will show you this practically. For example. mm, Okay, so this is our JWT token, how much parts it is divided. So you can see here first method will be a register user, and second will be a login. And when user login with valid username and password, that time we can call this private method. So every time we can create our private method in the end. So same thing we can do, we can create it here private method. So firstly, we can every time I already explain you in the app setting.json file, we can add our all the configuration. For example, you can see here our connection string, JWT, Azure related all the configuration we can add it here. So for now, I want to understand this in the I think this is the next question, but I also cover which information we can save in the app setting. So in the app setting, what we can see, firstly, we can save the key here. So this key will be a, I'm not clear, 256 bytes. Yeah, 256 bytes and 332 256 bits and 32 bytes. Why it will be this? Because here we are using this algorithm as MAC SHA 256. So this is the algorithm we are using here. So that's why our key will be long 256 bits. If I give the name smaller, like I will add like only 15 or 16 keywords here. So it will give the error when we can run this. We can run from here, so you can get here error because this algorithm want key length will be 256 bits. So in the JWT here in the app setting we can save the key. Issuer means who will issue this token. You can understand, for example, your backend APIs will issue the token. Audience means who will get your token, for example your client, or you can say your Angular application. And next thing is expire minute, like how mint after you want to expire your token. So these information we can save here in the app setting.json file. So is it clear? Anyone have any question? So you can message me here. Is it clear? You can write here yes or no. Okay, so this is this information, and if you want, you also save here other information like subject. For now, we can add these things, and this is also important question in an interview. Interview will ask you why you use the issuer, why we use the audience, why we use the expire minute, why we use the key, what is the length of key, what is the idle time to set expire minute. So these are the important question related to these fields. I already added here. Important question will be I can add it here in the notepad. I think I already added here. Let's check. So next question will be what are the three parts in a JWT? So JWT is divided into header, payload, and signature. In the header, we can save the information of which algorithm we are using. And second is a payload. In the payload, we can save related to user information because if you created any token and you are not save any information related to user or user name, so that time how you will understand like for which user we can create the token. So that's why this is the same question will ask in the interview. Like if you worked, you can easily give the answer, but if you just go through theory and you are not have a knowledge practically, so you are not able to answer this question. So in the payload, or you can say here, we can save the user claims or user information. So I can show you here. And last thing will be signature. So signature will identify, no one will like do anything related to header and payload, and it will here we can add our secret key that we can write in the app setting, and it will make it secure every time, so like no one reach the information. So you can see here, this is my service, and here I can create the token. So firstly, I can get this section, JWT section, with the help of I configuration. So I already inject this I configuration here, and with the help of I configuration, I will able to this is used to read the file from appsetting.json file. And next thing is, firstly, we will get this section, and we can assign here our which algorithm we are using here. These the credential we can add here, and in the this is the claims, or you can say this is the payload. It defines user claim. For example, we can save here username, user role, user ID. It's your choice how information you want to save here. So, but compulsorily you need to save these two detail here. I can edit two times. You need to add here name and role. For example, if anyone asks you if we not add any information related to payload related to users, so how we will find? So you can see if I can't save any information, so how you will find like this is for example here we are authorization we can implement. So how we can understand this? What is the role inside the token? So this token inside we can save all the information, so like that it will be work. I will show you again. For example, I can create and show you how it will be work, payload and signature. So you can see here, I will create this and for example, I can log. Firstly, I will create the user here. I will check the previous one. I already created one user. I will check that. So you can see here, here we can get the this information. Then it will check in the use database like this user says are saved in the database. So yes, this user in the database and password we can save in the hash and then it will check this password will be valid. So is it true? And then it will generate the token. So it's okay. So you can see here we are getting error related to because here in the app setting we can this is not a 256 bits long, so we need to set here. This is the this is JWT token. So that's why we are getting error here. So I will set in here long 256 bits. So same error you will get if you give here short key. We will save JWT token in a local storage or in a session. There are multiple ways. I can relog in. So user, we have a value, our this is true, password also true, and then generate the token. So you can see here, we can get these four section that we can assign in a here in the app setting. So we can give the value server, client. So same thing we can get here. So you can see here, same four section we can get here, and this is the value client and experiment, all the things we can get here. Next thing is we can explain here which algorithm we are using. This is the payload or you can say user claims information we can save here and then we can create the token and we can pass the token. So you can see here this token will be generated. So I will break down this token. So so you can see here our token name is Ram and username is stored and this is admin. So this is the information. So same exact thing we can get here. So here this is the header and this is the decoded payload and the last which is signature. So secret key it will be a create a unique token every time and you can see first thing is which algorithm we are using here. So we are using HS256 type, which we are using JWT, the media type to compute. JWT token we are using here. Next thing is this is the payload. Yeah, and here also. So this is the algorithm we are using, and this is the type. Next thing is but payload information. So we can save here name, role, username, user ID, username, age, department, expire, issuer, audience. So these all value we can add, save inside the payload. And signature will verify this will be unique every time and no will breach because this is the secret key we can add it here. That length will be 256 bytes. So is it clear? Anyone have any doubt? You can message me here. Like because this is the most important topic in our interview. So if you are not able to answer these three questions, like what is the difference between header and but how many divided parts divided this token, so you are not able to clear the interview. And next question will be how header, payload, and signature will divided. So it is separated by dot. So you can see here, this is our header, this is our payload, and this is last signature. So is it clear? Please write yes or no, or have any question related to this header, payload, and signature. You can message me here. Or if clear, you can type yes so I can move the next question. So next question will be, so this is we are cleared header, payload, and signature. In the header, we can save the algorithm and token type. Payload, we can save the claims or user information. Signature, we can, with the help of secret key, we can make this token secure so no one can access our token. Because if we see everything, we can share openly, so anyone can get our token and use our do the like use our APIs. Same thing. What is the header in JWT contain algorithm and token type? Next thing is what is the payload contain the user data or claim signature used to verify token authenticity. But is the claim a piece of data stored inside the JWT payload? So this is also important. So in this is the same exact claims, or this is you also say this is the payload, so not confusing claim and payload. So this is the claims means which claims you can save related to a token, like related to a user. So this is the piece we already cover. We have three types of claims: register, public, and private. And expire minute means expire, what is the expire time minute? So in the expire minute, what is the idle time? This is the exact question we'll ask. So it will be 20 to 30 minute, it will be the idle time. And if you have a refresh time, then 5 to 6 days. Next thing is what is the issue that this information we can save in the app setting that we already covered here. So this is issuer, this is the audience, this is the experiment. So this information we can save here. So issuer of the token, audience of the token, where we can store the JWT, we can save in the local storage, maximum time, session storage, and cookies. So how JWT send, we can token send, we can with the help of authentication, with the help of where scheme, and we can pass a token. Every time we can save our token in the header. For example, you can see here. So I can generated this token and I have a role admin. So you can see here we can added this. I added this card in my, okay, in my program.cs file. So when you are doing your authorization, you need to add this card uh, in your swagger so that you can authorize. So with the help of where screen, we can add this token. So when I can add after where we can add the token, so you will, because this is the first file that will be run when we can run the application, so he will get here which in the authentication which role we can assign here, and which information we can send here. So it will verify what is the role. So for example, you can see here this is the where screen, and here you can add the value and click on the authorize. So now you are able to access the APIs where role will be admin. So let's check. So you can see here I can add the role admin here because here we can give the name admin or I can create a new user. For example, this is here we can add the role admin. But if you are not login with the admin, so you are not able to hit the this API directly. It will throw error from here. So I can add it here breakpoint. So let's check. First, I will create the user and generate the token. So, mhm. So this user will created. After that, I can log in with this user. And see here, this token will be generated here. I can copy this token. So you can see here, if I want to get the, I think in the get all API we can add it. Get all API, I can add authorized role admin. So you can see here, if I get try to get this API, so I will get error directly error here before hitting this method. So you can see here I am already added breakpoint, so it will not hit the breakpoint here. So it directly throw error because it will check here. So you are authenticate and we are using these two middleware app dot use authentication app dot use authorization, so it will check this middleware you have a role or not, so it will throw directly error from here. Role based authentication is used check the user is authorized or not by using this middleware. So we can add this middleware. So now I can add here this token and click on authorize. Then I will try to use. So now you can see you can get hit here and you are able to assess these API. So like that way, role-based authorization it will work. So there is no data, that's why. And this is the status code and this is the response body. So next question is what is the difference between refresh token or resend token? So these also like it's also very important question in an interview. Refresh taken, for example, you are login one time and you are not get the OTP. So you can, in a real world, for example, you can log in any website and, for example, email, you are not getting that token. So that time you can resend the token. There is the option resend token. So that time we can use a resend. Used to send token again like OTP and email. No part of JWT standard used in the OTP and email verification has very short expiry and use when user clicks on the recent token. Sometime you are not getting the token or OTP, so that time so same it will work. Second thing is what is the refresh token? So refresh token, this is also very important and confusing question. In the refresh token, for example, I want user will not log in again and again. I don't want our user, for example, you can working any website and after 1 hour you are log out. To fix that, we can add the long expire, for example 7 to 30 days. So it will be after 30 day you need to log in again. So it will be work with the help of refresh token. So I will show you how refresh token will work practically in the code. Mm, God. So, what we can do, how it will be refresh token will be working. For example, when we here we can send to user two token. First one is access token and second one is a refresh token. So this access token will expire in a uh, like in the we can here mm, this one. This is the refresh token and okay. Let me clear refresh token. Okay. So this token, we can a random number we can generate and we can save this information in the database. So for example, in the Angular developer will working here. So we can give her like him to a access token. This is you can understand. This is the JWT token that we already you can see here. This is the JWT token and next one is a access token. So this is the random number generated because we are not save the important and secure information in the database. So I will show you here what is our database. Let's check. This is our database. So let's test. Okay. So if you have any confusion or any doubt, you can message me here. I will try to give the answer. But this is the also very important question. What is the refresh token and resend token? Okay, so this is our database. This is our tables. This is our user table. Okay, let me check. JWT. Not this one. This one is. So this is we can save the letter to user information. This here we can save refresh token and with the user ID. So I can create this table and for example we can save the give the information refresh token and uh, okay, so we will give the this information. I will give the front end user, for example, anyone working in Angular. So we will provide this. So I think in this token will be expire into a 30-minute that define we can add here. So after this, I don't want user. For example, if of like uh, front end not a front end user like that user will use our application, so that not able to log in again and again. So what developer will do, front end developer, so it will save the refresh token or access token in your local storage, and when it will be expired, it will send here again refresh token. So you can see here, it will send the refresh token and it will check that refresh token in the database. So it will be valid for the 7 days, so it will check and then create the new JWT token. But this is the backend process, not the like end user will see the process. So you already see here. So if uh, for example in the Facebook you are not log out, so these all things will be work with the help of refresh token. So automatically front end developer will send every like 1 hour or 2 hour, that time you can set here after expire this, because after expiry use you are log out, but he will send you this refresh token. We can compare this refresh token in the database, and again it will create. For example, I can give the refresh token expire time will be 7 days. So after that it will create a generate a new token or new refresh token. So like that it will be work. So like that, refresh token and resend token will work. This is the important topic in our .NET interview. Or like this is the most important topic, JWT token, because authentication and authorization. This is the most important topic in our interview. Next thing is why we use JWT is used because it provides stateless, scalable, and efficient authentication. So here we can, I already cleared, we can save here how it will work. It can create a successfully step-by-step authentication between client and server. How we can log in, we are already clear user enter username and password and send request to the server, then it will generate the token. So server verify credentials, it will check you have a valid username and password. If valid, then server create a JWT token with the help of, this is the payload. So this is most important. Sometime interview will ask you, can we save which information we can save in a payload. So these information we can save in a um, token. Token sent to client, server send JWT back to client. For example, every time the next question is where we can save the token. So every time we can save the token in the header. So I will show you here token header how it will be show. So like that way it will be show. If you inspect here, in the inspect here, for example in the front end API, and this is the backend API, and here your this is your authentication view. So every time when you are login in the, for example from the front end you will want to get the product API, so in your header this authentication will be and this token will be saved. So like that it will work. If you have this token you are able to access the API, otherwise not. So here in the header we can save the token information. Next thing is token storage, local storage, session storage, and cookies. We can send the token. Send token with like that. We already clear. We are token with the help of using this where scheme. We can use the as the token. So you can see here we can use this where screen. Require the name authentication same used to authentic authorization header. So here we can pass this information, and every time, because if you are not added this code you will not get this authorize option. So to creating this we can added that code. So we are using here via scheme we can use here. Next thing is if your token expire or unvalid, that time you are getting error 401 unauthorized. And the stateless does not store sessions. We are using algorithms, metric algorithm 256. I already clear. This is the asymmetric algorithm. Secret key used to sign JWT expired Expired token result will be 401. Unauthorized refresh token generates a new SES token that we already cleared. Symmetric algorithm use the same key to encryption and decryption, faster and simple. Key must be secret. And here we can use a separate key like public and private key. And okay. Next thing is same thing we already added. Token always we can save in the header. Token decoding means reading the payload. So we can save password in the JWT. So no, we are not saving here password here. We can save all the other information, but not a password in the You can see here we are not saving any password here in the payload. Here we are not saving the password inside the token. And the next question is HTTP secure. S means secure communication. What is the idle time of JWT token? So there is no fixed rule, but the access token will be 10 to 13 minutes and refresh token 7 to 30 days. So based on your choice, you can add, but this is you can give the answer if anyone asks you what is the idle time. So shortly you can give the this answer. So this already covered JWT is separated. JWT is divided into three parts. It's like how it will be separated. So it will be separated by dots, header, dot, payload, dot, signature. So which middleware we are using related to JWT token. So you can already see here we can use two middleware in the program.cs file app.use authentication and authorization. It will prevail middleware to handle the authentication, identity, and always which permission user access the resources. So this is middleware we can add it here. Validate the token and checks role and policies. So what middleware do reads token from the authorization header, signature, expire, minute issuer, and set the user identity. We already use this add authentication that we already added here. This one in the program.cs file. So with the help of this as authentication, add authorization, add authentication, we can add here. We are using JWT screen, add authentication, add JWT to configure JWT. So these are the basic, but is the validate, check issue time, check audience. So these things we can validate here. So you can see here, validate issue, validate audience, validate lifetime. So these all the things we can define here when we can authenticate. Okay, so this is the scene. Next thing is this is also important question. What is the role-based authentication, authorization, and policy-based? In the role-based, you can add only, for example, it's a limited access to the based on user roles, simple and easy to implement. And for example, you have a admin and role less flexible. You can add like that way, meaning only admin can access this. Policy base you can add a multiple policy. For example, you can access multiple rules here. For example, you're working any company and there are multiple rules. So in the role base means you have a role base authorization. Policy base means you are added multiple. You added role, you added claims. For example, you make a policy admin only, means policy under role will be admin, age will be greater than 18, email verified. So we can add a multiple things in the policy base. So like that it will work. If you have a small application, that maximum time we are following role based authorization, but you have a like larger project, so that time we can try to use policy base because we are give the authority that have a valid uh, that will be specify the valid condition based on the roles, it based on the rules. Limited, highly flexible, you can add a multiple condition inside this. Use simple apps, also use complex apps, and so like that it will be work. And for example, I already added here, I will show you. So you can see here, like that way you can add a policy. So I will add this policy in our program.cs file. So you like that way you can add the policy. For example, I will adult employee, their age will be value, age will be greater than 18, and department will be IT. So like that way you can make the policy, and in the policy you can add the multiple things, multiple rules. So this is the main difference between policy and always authentication. Okay, so these are the authorize means protect the endpoint. If I write allow anonymous here, this attribute means you can use easily, like you don't in public set any public user, you are not any authorization you can implement. If you have an invalid token, so that one we can add that error 401. Handle the auth pipeline. This is we already cover. Always authentication we already cover, and so like that it will be more. So this is the most important JWT related question, and this is the most important topic. So try to cover these topics practically, because if you have a experience, you are have a 2 or 3 experience. So interview will not ask you simple; they will ask you how you can implement these things. So they will ask you question, cross question, and the detailed way. So try to cover these all topic practically, so you have a idea and you can easily give the answer. So it is the most important. Like I don't think any interview will go without related to authentication or authorization or JWT talk. So I only request you can try to cover these topics. So this is done for today class. If you like this video, please like, share, and comment here. Like if you like this video, you can comment down in this video. So it's really motivates me to make the next video, because sometimes it's difficult for me to make a video. But you can comment here. It will be useful for you or not. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye bye.